Welcome to Behind the Spotlight. I'm your host, Crystal Lampett, and if you are a fan of any kind of synth pop, I've got a treat for you. I've got Rubeo in the house. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. Being here. I'm really digging the getup.
Isn't this lovely?
I like that it's just everything is a combination of all things shiny and psychedelic.
It's true.
It's just fun, kind of like your style and your sound. We're going to kick it off with a song called Carrie, which I know you do all the writing.
That's correct.
Give us a little, what's Carrie about?
So Carrie's about the high school romance of your first crush that you kind of grow up with the girl that you like, and she becomes way hotter than you'd ever imagine and wants nothing to do with you. I'm sure nobody...
She's the girl that's a little too cool for school,
Way too cool for school, so nobody knows what that's like.
No, nobody can relate to that at all, just you. All right, well, this is Rubeo performing Carrie. Take it away, you guys.
Maybe later I could walk you home. My house is just all the way. You said you're sorry, but your friends are waiting. Maybe some other day. But there was something about the way that you looked at me. Never felt like this about at a point. You're too cool to notice. There was something about the way that you looked at me. Never felt like this about at a point. But you're too cool to notice. You're too cool to notice. You're too cool. You're too cool to notice. And later on when I see you walking by, don't even stop to say hey. It's like I'm not even a real life person. That what you think of me. Yeah, later on when I see you walking by, don't even stop to say hey. It's like I'm not even a real life person. That what you think of me. There was something about the way that you looked at me. Never felt like this about anyone. But you're too cool to notice. There was something about the way that you looked at me. Never felt like this about anyone. But you're too cool to notice. You're too cool to notice. You're too cool to notice. You and me were made to be together.
was Carrie by Rubeo, and I appreciate so much that Carrie was an actual person. And,
She was.
And Joe and I here went to the same high school.
We certainly did.
I didn't know who she was though, so shoot. But everybody has their own Carrie,
That's
right?
true,
Everybody
yeah.
has their own version. In my case, I liked one of the football players, and he never paid attention to me. I was
Right.
kind of the nerd. Cam, did you have a Carrie? Did you have your own?
I think I
version
had
of
at least
Carrie?
1 or 2 carries, actually.
Several dozen.
3 dozen Carries that just never noticed me. So tell me a little bit more about what inspired that. I mean, it was just the crush, and it's funny that kind of stayed with you years and years later.
Right, yeah. So the inspiration of the song just kind of birthed out of me just, messing around in my basement, and you get a synthesizer, a keyboard, and you just kind of, man, I just want to write like the classic, first crush romance, and it's like I just kind of pulled out of my own, story of, the first crush I had on this girl, and then it just kind of flowed out of there, and I just remember just kind of the lyrics and the melody kind of came to me. I'm like, whoa, like this, this could be something. And so
Was that one of the first times that you had kind of experienced that?
absolutely,
Just kind
yeah,
of came out of you?
yeah. And so it's like those moments, they don't happen often, and when they do, you just have to have pen and paper
Yeah.
ready, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's but yeah, I really like the song.
Yeah, you gotta get it on paper before you forget, before it slips away, right?
It's true, yeah.
And we're definitely going to talk a little bit more about your process and how you guys kind of got together after the break. Don't go. Welcome back to Behind the Spotlight. I've got Rubeo in the house, and we were kind of just getting to the beginnings of Rubeo because you guys are a very new duo. How did you meet? How did you form?
Right, so we met a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we met. I moved out here for a solar job from Southern California to
Right.
Kansas City, and he was a solar designer, and I was in solar sales, and we just figured out that we both played
Ended
music.
up in the
so.
middle of just Kansas, KC.
And when we weren't, selling solar, I would just be like, hey man, come to my house, we'll jam in the garage, and we're just messing around. And then it just got to the point where it's like, yeah, let's go for this. And then
So you guys just literally just met at work?
That's right.
Met at a day job. How was the solar business?
Oh, right. Well,
It was fun. We call it the solar coaster. So
That's
It
yeah,
was fun
yeah.
while it lasted.
yeah,
it's
exactly.
ups and it's downs. Yeah.
But what birthed out of it was obviously a great duo, and you guys have chemistry, which I can see by the collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to finally go for it? Like what brought it from jamming in the garage to, hey, let's release music?
Right, yeah. So for me, wind it back a year and a half, I didn't have any music that I had written for myself, and, went through a lot of, a very low point in my personal life, and, got divorced and in a custody battle. And so finally I'm like, I'm just lonely and depressed. And so I just figured, hey, why not just try and go for this and do music and actually get out of my garage and share that with people and share my story. And for me, it really, because music has the power to do that, it's such an important part of the human experience.
And I remember you started off with some riffs, and it wasn't electronic yet. We just had the acoustic stuff.
Right, yeah.
And then
You
you
started
got,
off acoustic?
Yeah.
I'm like having trouble picturing that because
Right.
you're so funky and synthy now.
Right.
and then he got the synthesizer, the vocoder, and then started making more of the electronic style. And he's like, you got to get the electric drum kit. And I was like, I felt like it was a shame to my instrument because it's like,
It's not a real
Yeah.
drum set.
But it's been great. I'm really glad he pushed me towards that, and it worked out well for the music. So.
Oh yeah, you guys have a great sound, and you actually use, is it an app or a program to make?
That's
a lot
right,
of
yeah.
music?
So I use this guy to actually create all my music, just using my phone. If I'm bored at work, you just if I have an idea or a melody in my mind, I can use the interface to kind of write melodies, and I actually produce about 90% of my music just using my phone.
Wow.
And it cuts down, you know, you don't have to worry about your phone showing up late to band practice, and so, and you don't have to pay them at the end of the gig too, so.
That's
It was your phone and your music degree, right?
That's right,
that was
yeah.
helping there too, right?
It's like 2018, kids are either on a computer and now a phone app, and so it's really been a game changer. And so instead of like having to go to a studio, which the studio is great, you know, you can do a lot in a studio, and so for just starting out, I just knew, man, I have this sound in my head, and I have to try to get it out and make it into something contextual that you could, you know, experience. And that's the struggle of every artist, is, you know, to get that sound out of your head to where you want it to, how you want it to sound, and how the way you want to present it. And so and we're just kind of on this journey, and it started off as like a solo project, just me on a guitar and my keyboard. And I'm like, well, I'll just bring my best friend along board for come aboard the ship. And it's like, if it doesn't sound great, then it's like, we know who to blame.
then you can relegate some of the responsibility onto him, right?
Right, yeah.
It was you and that drum kit.
What was that guy doing?
Yeah, what were you thinking? I mean, it obviously worked out really well, because you are getting a following now. This sound is so unique but nostalgic at the same time. I personally am a huge fan. I love it. Tell me a little bit more about how you started, because you said it was acoustic, and it was kind of getting you out of a really difficult time. How did music help you move past that? You said the divorce, there was I mean, that's a challenge a lot of people go through, divorces and breakups. And how did this help, I guess, heal you in a way? Right,
because a lot of it is just kind of getting out of your own head, just because you have voices of accusation and, you know, the guilt complex. And, you know, really it's just, you just get out and you share and you tell your story, and you have a story to tell. And yeah, it's changed my life, and I hope that you know, it inspires and touches other people too, because that's I feel what music is here for. And you know, and so yeah, it just became a therapeutic thing for you in a way. Yeah, which is great, because there are so many other ways that you could go with dealing. Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, a lot of places you could turn to, and I feel like music has just been such a positive thing for me. And then, you know, having Cam here, and we just kind of support each other. And, you know, it started off as like, all right, it's as a hobby, it's fun, and now it's like work, you know. And then we're playing shows, and we're doing the social media game, and, you know, you're throwing money into it, and you're like, you're invested now. You know, it's like running your business. And so it's like, and then we both have jobs, we work normal jobs, and it's like, people are like, wow, that weird guy has a job. But how validating is it, you know, and Cam, you can speak to this too, to have your music out there and have it get such a warm reception?
Yeah, it's been great just to see people's response to the music, and seeing the number of people grow at our different concerts that we've been playing. And it's just I don't know, it's been a great time playing with this guy, and it's just been fun. So I mean, that's got to be validating too, right? Because you're writing these songs from the heart, from the soul, and to have somebody else validate that, and that's got to be such an incredible feeling. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's the whole reason why you would play music, at least for me, is to, you know, you have that experience, and, you know, it has the power to influence and change the way that we think, change the way that we interact with each other, and, you know, it can make our day, you know, where you can just kind of relax and put the song on, and yeah. That's great. I love it. And also, tell me more about, because one of the first things, of course, I noticed about you guys was the whole get up. What inspired this? You're a mishmash of all the things. This is just how I normally dress. I wear this. You do not wear that to work. I know you do not wear that at your day job. Yeah, it's you got the pants though. The floral pants and the neon shoes, and we're definitely like riding that nostalgic 80s 90s wave that's really kind of in right now with like Stranger Things, and, you know. Yeah, we're both 80s babies, and I feel like I always, you know, a lot of the 80s movies and a lot of the music that was around back then was always really a big part of my life growing up. So it's kind of fun to see that style coming back, and we're trying to bring it back, I guess, right?
That's right, yeah.
Oh, I love it. And it is kind of a departure, though, from where you were, because I know you used to work in ministry.
That's right, yeah.
Ministry. So tell me about making the decision to leave that and to
Right.
kind of pursue your own journey.
Right. It wasn't just like a decision where you wake up one day and it's
Sure.
like, all right, I'm done with ministry. It's like, you know, it was a several year process of, okay, you know, you go from this style of you know, contemporary worship music, which is can be very, you know, uplifting and very emotional, and, you know, just the worship of God, and, you know, and then it kind of like changes, like, all right, well, what's your story, and how you just want to make music that you enjoy playing and you enjoy listening to. Some of my heroes are David Gilmour from Pink Floyd and Prince, and
Oh, hey, yo, there you go, yeah.
and, you know, some of these great artists that we no longer have with us today, and Tom Petty, and so you try to, you know, pick up where they left off in a way, and so it's like, you know, and you're right, as far as like having a unique sound, it's like, man, what does that sound like? And it just sounds like Rubeo.
It sounds, yeah, exactly. And it sounds like different things from my childhood that I can kind of piece together. Was it hard for you to leave ministry and go on this different path? Was it kind of a shake-up to your world and identity at all?
Oh yeah, you're like rethinking a lot of things, and you build these belief systems that you hold on, you know, your whole life, that you grow up with, and people that have influenced you, and then it's like you kind of go out in the world and, you know, get a job, buy a house, get married, have a kid, and then it's like, you know, okay, like, how do these values, you know, fit in with my life? And then it's like, you know, I still hold on to a lot of those values, and so I think it just looks different for each person, and it looks a little different for me, but it's definitely influenced my life in a lot of ways. And so, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of like what we're about is, you know, love and acceptance, and, you know, being comfortable with who you are. And it's like, I don't know if many people would feel comfortable wearing, you know, something like this, but it's like, yeah, this is...
But you pull it off, so that's all that matters.
I think you both rock
You're one to
it.
talk, look at this.
You are both definitely rocking it, and I appreciate anybody who marches to their own beat, and it sounds like you've really kind of found and created a new identity for yourself, which I'm a big fan of. So thank you guys so much for being on the show. We'll have more right after this. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome back to Behind the Spotlight. We've got Rubeo in the house, and we do have one more song for you. It is called Crucible, and Cam over here really likes this one, I hear.
This one's my favorite,
This is your fave? Why? What's so great about it?
So this song is about a lot of things. A lot of it just has to do with just paranoia and the battle of the mind, and so it's about a lot of things, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and just so that people know, they can get your music. I know you're releasing kind of little by little, a song here and there, just to kind of see what your vibe is, what your audience is, which is a great tactic, by the way. Where can people find your music?
Right. You can find our music on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, anywhere where music is streamed, YouTube. Follow us on Facebook,
and
Instagram.
Social media stuff as well.
That's
Rubeo.
right. Yeah.
Got it. All right. This is Crucible by Rubeo. Take it away.
When I walk into the room, I can tell there's something am I just pretending? Drinking here alone while you're looking at your phone. It's so inviting. And you